Hello everybody, my name's John. I want to talk about a Silverlight-based massive multiplayer browser game project that will probably never be finished. I have to warn you in advance, but I still think it's exciting to talk about it because it shows off some of the extremely amazing capabilities of Silverlight that I believe are underestimated. What you see here is one big map. You can scroll around this map. You can zoom out. And this is the outermost zoom level. And we can zoom in again. So this game features a fairly large map, and it's designed as a massive multiplayer game. So lots of players have plenty of space in this gigantic map. So this is a village, and this is the innermost zoom level. Now, the concept of the game is similar to browser games as they are frequently implemented already. You start off with a village, you build up the village, and you harvest resources, build up armies, and then attack other people with those armies, rob their resources, and so on. Here we see an army moving to another player. Now this is not actually live. You cannot actually play this. As I said, it's not completed, and it probably will never be completed. There are some things that are completed, mostly the visual stuff, and although you can't play it, you can see the demo, the same demo you're seeing right now, but you can see it live in your browser in the sense that you can scroll around the map, like I do here right now. You can't really play with anybody, but you can scroll around and have a look at it. I put a link to the preview in the description. Now, this project was intended to become a company. It was intended as a commercial product. There are a lot of companies, or a couple of companies, that are successfully marketing browser games with exactly the same game concept, but without any graphical, or with very little graphical aid in showing what happens in the world. They are similar in concept in that they have a really big world where a lot of things go on with lots and lots of players, but they don't put them in the same world visually. And here with Hill and Dale, the idea was that you create one big world where you can zoom around, where you can scroll around, and it's all real time with thousands of players on one big map. That would be the unique selling point of it. Now, that didn't really work out, and maybe I make a video later telling the story why it didn't work out and why it's discontinued, but for the remainder of this video and maybe other videos, I will primarily talk about the technology, about Silverlight and what Silverlight can do that isn't really been used so far, as far as I can see. I believe Silverlight is underused. Now, the main thing is obviously the landscape. Yeah, and I use a classic technique, fractal landscape generator. There's plenty of games that use fractal landscapes. I think the CryEngine is the latest to make a breakthrough there by doing that on GPUs. But this technique goes back to the beginning of home computing. It's a really old technique. What is unique here in Hill and Dale is that the landscape can be calculated in a very crude fashion, and then it gets more fine-grained when you zoom in. You can actually see that. Yeah, I zoom in, and then tick. Now it has calculated a more fine-grained version of it. Tick again. Yeah, you go in, and in the background thread, the landscape is then calculated. The landscape is non-repeating. Every hill here looks differently. Unfortunately, it looks kind of similar. But that is not because the landscape generator couldn't generate a really irregular landscape. It's because of the gaming concept that you want to have a fairly evenly structured landscape. It was a requirement of the gaming concept, not of the landscape generator. Yeah. The landscape generator itself is also multi-threaded. I already said it's working in a background thread, but it's actually multi-threaded itself. That is something that Silverlight can do, which Flash can't, or other technologies that can be used in the browser. So that's fairly cool. Also, the landscape actually sends information to objects going on the landscape. Yeah, you can't really see it that well here. Let's have a look if we have an army that is going somewhere where we have a more hilly, maybe here. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, that looks cool. Yeah, you can actually see where that the army is going over the landscape. There's some even better examples probably. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, armies would go a really long time. Yeah, it's about 10 minutes to a neighboring village. It could be hours. It's 2 days of a march when an army goes on a march from one border of the map to the other. It's about 2 or 4 days, I forgot. But that in itself is not unusual with browser games. That you have those enormous times to wait until something happens. The only thing that is a little bit unusual is that you can actually see those armies run around over the whole map, and you can actually watch them march for 4 days, if they do that. So this was a quick overview over Hill and Dale, an unfinished, real-time, massive multiplayer browser game. You see the placeholder buildings here. That's not nearly all that is unfinished, and there is not going to be any development going into this at this point, and probably ever. But check out the preview if you want to see it in your own browser. It's still worth talking about it because it shows what is possible with Silverlight. A technology often compared to Flash or HTML5, but you can do more with it. You can do a lot more with it that is not possible with the other technologies. So I think it's worth talking about it, and I will probably make more videos focusing a little bit more on details that are interesting for Silverlight developers. But this overview should suffice for now. So thank you for your attention. This is Hill and Dale, and my name is John. Until next time.